Hey people of YouTube, Haley again. I know it's been a while since my last review. I apologize. Just recently, I haven't seen The Purge yet. That's gonna be my next. That's on my to-do list, I swear. I actually recently went out with a friend of mine, a coworker, and we went out and saw Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I wasn't too terribly disappointed with it. I really enjoyed the first one. It was really fun and interesting. I had seen the originals like way back when. I mean like original, like way back. Um so far back it makes you feel old. Um anyway, so went ahead and I saw this one. I wasn't too entirely disappointed. The only thing that I found was kind of a downer, but honestly, I could understand was that James Franco was not in this one. That would have been seriously awesome. Like to have Caesar see James again. That would have been freaking amazing. But that didn't happen. I'm sorry if that's some sort of spoilers, but you should know by now that my reviews have spoilers in them. Anyway, so Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. For one, honestly, like, just a little side note and a small little thing that made me and my friend giggle. We both leaned over to each other, and as it showed the title, I mean, it was all in one line, so it took up the entire friggin' screen. We couldn't help but giggle to ourselves and go, longest movie title ever. So, that was kind of silly. But it honestly, if they would have done like what they did on like the movie poster, like kind of have it layered, it wouldn't have looked as clunky and as long. But that's just kind of me. Um, anyway, so yeah, so Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, it was interesting. Basically, the whole thing is a struggle between trying to have the humans survive while not stepping on the proverbial territorial toes of the apes, and a group of humans are stupid enough to actually do that by accident, and one shoots one and and starts, getting the apes all pissed off. But the main focus, though, that they end up having is a conflict between Caesar, his son, and what I'm to assume is his military, quote unquote, general of sorts, named Koba. I call him military because of the fact that he is mainly part of their arterial forces. So that's basically why I call him a general of sorts. He kind of is, but over the course of the movie, he starts losing his power, along with his mind. So yeah, as usual, there is spoilers. So um, also, I'm not going to be as finicky on details as I usually am, only because of the fact that I saw that movie literally, it'll be a week ago tomorrow. So, it's been 6 days. Gonna be a little difficult in order to remember all the big things that happen. Um, One of the big shockers of the movie, I did not know this, Gary Oldman is in this movie. I was so happy to see him in something other than Batman. Or Kung Fu Panda 2, but that was voice acting, so that's okay. Um, but honestly, it was really interesting to see him in this, and to see him as not really a good guy so much as a good guy being desperate enough to do whatever it takes. It was really interesting. It actually gave him a bit of a three-dimensional character, and I was rather thrilled about that. But anyway, getting ahead of myself. Basically, the opening is Caesar and his I wouldn't say recon because honestly they were in the middle of hunting. So they were basically hunting down some deer for food for the giant clan family thing. That's like a few miles away. Um, and he has a wife of sorts who who ends up having another little boy. But his son, they mainly refer to him only as Blue Eyes. So that's basically what we can call him. Um, but ironically enough, before he ends up getting injured in the opening scene, he looks just like every other ape until he ends up getting some scarring on his right shoulder and actually on his right cheek. That's the only way you can tell him apart from everyone else. Almost the same thing with Koba because of all his scars. Um, but yeah, so they go ahead and, they're doing this little fighting thing, and, they're taking down a caribou, or deer. Did I say caribou? Wow, I need help. Um, but, and then the humans stumble across him, and this one idiot shoots one, and Caesar gets mad. Caesar can actually speak some of the time. It gets a lot more frequent throughout the movie. I think that's because a part of him is still, doing that whole evolution type thing um, because of the whole, uh, I guess the chemical thing, like the trials that he had gone through, in the first movie. So apparently that speeds up his evolution and whatnot. Whatever. I did not debate with it because honestly, this movie already has some choppy logic, but it's it's meant to be like a sci-fi type thing. So it's like, okay, well, you can't get too finicky about it, or you'll sit there criticizing it the entire friggin' time instead of enjoying it. So I suspended my disbelief. But basically, there was a simian illness type thing, almost like a friggin' disease. Sort of like the weird mad cow disease, or like something of that nature. I don't know. It was like a simian flu or something like that. That ended up wiping out a lot of humanity, apparently. Um, so there's like literally only a group that we know of humans that are left, and they all have housed themselves. I don't even have any idea of where and in what city they hold themselves up in. It was just the stereotypical apocalyptic city. That was it. I couldn't tell what city they were in. I just remember. I just know that they were by water because at the climax you see it, and that's pretty much it. So anyway. So yeah. So. Go back, and they go back to the little fortress of sorts, and the scientist guy's like, oh yeah, the the leader can talk, and Grandma's like, no, I don't care what the hell you heard, or what you saw, or what you think you saw, what you think you heard, they can't talk. They're not capable of speech. So, so they basically are like, okay, well, the only thing that can save us, because they're running low on supplies, is in order to go out and to fix the dam. So they go out there, and Caesar, ironically enough, just lets them. Koba is not that thrilled about it, so he goes ahead and he starts, you know, yelling at Caesar like, oh, you can't trust the humans, and things of that nature. And ironically enough, the entire thing, every once in a great while, Caesar will say like one or two words that are very very powerful, as in like family, or together, or something that kind of speaks to him as a leader. But a lot of the time they're doing sign language. And you'll learn later on that in this later scene that James Franco taught Caesar sign language and everything, and it's shown through a camera that he finds. Um, but basically, it's like a little mini. That's like their version of a flashback to the first movie, um, which is arguably the best scene in the movie. No, I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, so they fix the dam, but like throughout that whole thing, there are trials and tribulations, like Koba going out and scouting out to see the humans are honing weapons, and they're holding up weapons and everything, and he uses his monkey charms, or his little monkey tricks, in order to go ahead and get out of there without getting injured or anything like that by playing the stupid monkey gag. Um, let's see, and uh, the new baby, which weirdly enough does not have a name, which kind of bothers me now, because now I don't know what to refer to him as. I guess the new baby brother. He ends up getting attached to the humans, and it's kind of a cute scene. Um, things. Oh God, it's horrible trying to do a review of a movie that you've seen about a week ago. Um, basically, throughout the entire thing, Koba is like getting Blue Eyes to start not listening to his father, so that way he has a sort of a regime that he can end up building up and going up against Caesar. And about in the second third of the movie, um, again, spoilers here. Koba ends up using one of the humans' guns and shoots Caesar, apparently killing him. Honestly, we all know that there's no way Caesar is dead. I mean, there's no way. Caesar's the main friggin' character. You can't kill the main character. It's not smiled upon, especially whenever you're literally only about halfway through the frickin' movie. So, um, apparently Koba takes charge. I don't know why it's not done based on blood. I have no clue. I tried not to question it until after I got out of the theater, and my friend and I just started ranting about it. Technically speaking, Blue Eyes, or hell, the wife should have been the one or take over, but whatever. I guess it's whoever kills the leader. I don't care. I don't know how the animal kingdom works, nor do I want to know. And that's how it should stay. Anyway, so they went ahead and Koba started, gathering up the forces and actually attacking the humans, and they actually hold them up. And those who are loyal to Caesar, specifically, like an orangutan, I don't remember his name, save my life. I feel really bad, because he was a pretty big character. But honestly, like, he was a support character. He's a big support character. Um, but anyway, so they go ahead and they attack the humans, and they pen them up and everything, and all the ones who are loyal to only Caesar got locked up as well. Um, the main scientist guys find Caesar. They help him. They try to get him back to health. Taking the bullet out and yada yada yada. They go to look for a place of refuge in order to do the surgeries and whatnot, and they use Franco's old house. Well, Caesar, whenever he's feeling better, goes up to the attic where he used to live in the first movie, finds the camera and has that little flashback thing. It's a really cute moment because it's just that whole thing where it's like, aw, back in the days of yore. But it was nice to see James Franco in there for at least 2 minutes, because honestly, James Franco was really good in that movie. Um, then the doctor guy comes in, and then it turns out that his son is coming back with all his followers and whatnot. So that kind of ends that scene. There's a lot of scenes that just kind of start and then end. It's odd. The editing is a little weird. Um, and then it just turns out that there you go, you have your little army thing. And basically the whole climax, while the doctor guy is going through the subway, he finds Oldman and a couple other characters that you saw throughout the movie, but honestly, they really don't have any definable characteristics other than this guy has a gun, this guy is computer smart, this guy can work a radio. Honestly, they don't have very many definable qualities. Um, so Oldman ends up, in order to get rid of all the apes, because they all have compounded onto a construction, a building based in construction. Basically, he puts charges all around the base of the building, and he's gonna blow it up in order to get rid of all the apes all at once, apparently. And as the doctor guy's like, you can't do it, you gotta give Caesar time, and he's like, are you freaking nuts? So they basically, argue for a good minute, and then Gary Oldman's just like, no, boop. And he literally sacrifices himself for fucking nothing, because the building barely comes down at all in the end. But all throughout that whole thing, Koba and Caesar are having it out, and it's a decent fight scene. I mean, given the fact that they're still apes and whatnot. God, I gotta wrap this up. So basically, Caesar ends up, killing Koba and whatnot. And he takes the end, and quite literally, it ends how it started, a zoom in on his eyes, and then it just ends. I found it entertaining enough for, over 2 hours. I'm just glad it's not as ungodly long as Transformers. Which I won't be doing a review of, for one reason. Actually, you know what? I will review all the Transformers movies because you did the same damn thing. So I will talk about that later. Anyway, gotta wrap this up. Basically, I give it like maybe a 4 out of 5. It was decent enough. I kind of enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the first one more. Um, the CGI was decent. I was actually rather pleased about it, and the music score was good. The storyline was decent enough. So I can't fault it for anything. But anyway, so that's my really brief review. Well, it's my longest one so far, but that's my review of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. If you want to see it, go for it. Hopefully, the next thing other than Transformers that I'm gonna see is freaking Purge Anarchy. I'm looking forward to that one. So anyway, that ends this review, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.